I'm Tanner Carlson, a 7th grader at Horizon Middle School in Bismarck, North Dakota, and I'll be representing my state at the National Geographic Bee in Washington, D.C. this May.
If we were to travel to your town, what would you suggest we see?
Well, first of all, Bismarck is a great place if you are into recreation and stuff, since we have a river with many opportunities for water sports, and also a great park system and many biking, jogging, or walking paths. But there are also some other things to do. For instance, I'd recommend that you take a tour of our state capitol and also the Heritage Center, which is sort of like our state museum, and it's on the Capitol grounds. It goes into a lot of local history and has some artifacts, as well as a lot of great fossils and a good, actually, bird section, which I particularly enjoy. I'd also recommend the Fort Lincoln State Park across the river from us in Mandan, which is a reconstructed army installation from which General Custer embarked on his last trek. And it also features a reconstructed Earth Lodge village, which has guided tours to help you understand how the Native Americans lived in this part of our state before European settlement.
Where would you like to travel to?
Outside of the United States, I would like to travel to a lot of places because, whenever you learn about someplace new, you feel like you learn about all these cool places there and you'd like to go see them. But right now, one place that I'd say would be really interesting for me to visit would be Jerusalem, due to its many unique neighborhoods and also its, importance in the world today, and historical sites. Another place I've been thinking of is Istanbul for many of the same reasons, because of its, neighborhoods, location, historical relevance, and also because it's one place I don't know a lot about, but I think would be really interesting.
Hey Tanner, how do you remember all the information and facts?
I'm not entirely sure, although I do find that if I tell it to someone or if I read it, it sticks in my head better than if I were to just find it on a map alone. I have to do a combination of things, and that helps. It's also great if you look over things like more than once, or if you find multiple sources for it. And of course, another great study tip for the bee is that you always have to watch the news a lot. I watch it several times a day, so you get all the information that may show up in current events next year.
If you were in charge of the earth for a day, what would you do?
I would try to tackle the global food crisis first by, for example, encouraging companies to be fair in, say, their fishing endeavors, so local fishermen can also have enough food to feed their families. I would also help people make their communities independent and not reliant on, say, getting their food from other places, and also sustainable foods and crops that are well suited to their particular environment instead of simply those that provide the best yield, but those that will provide a stable yield. And then, of course, after that, because I'm not entirely big on dictatorships, I'd probably abolish the position. But
Good. What would you like to do when you're an adult?
I've given that a lot of thought, and I'm not entirely sure. Some things I like the idea of are being a geography professor or being a cultural anthropologist, probably working for a university too. And then something that we've been learning about in school lately is careers, and I found out that a museum curator would also be kind of cool.